Hey guys, welcome back to the Blue 7 channel. Now today we are here again with another hero preview. Now if you'll notice I am using my new mic, so tell me how it works out. I don't know how it sounds really. And I've been trying to listen to it and it doesn't sound too bad, but it doesn't sound worse than my other mic. So again, if you have a problem with this, say something down in the comments below. But back to what we're actually here to do. This is another hero preview with another custom hero made by myself. And a few others as well. If you don't know what I'm going to be doing with these because I didn't explain it in the last video, well then let me explain it right now. What this is supposed to be is it's supposed to be a custom hero made to get into the Dotacinima Community Hero Project when the new contests come out. Now of course I will be making one of these once per week, so be sure to see these videos at least once per week. I have another one coming up which I will post this week as well. Keep in mind that these pictures are not mine, and I will leave links down in the page. As you can see in the credit page right here, they give their credit to the proper artists. So, without further ado, let's actually start the thing. So, Lich King. Lich King is a melee tank disabler. In his summary, Lich King is a melee attack hero who has plenty of damage reduction and health to keep himself alive, while also using crowd control and skeletons to make sure he gets his kill. Now, you'll understand what that all means later on. We move on to his overview of abilities. First ability, Frostfire. It's an auto-cast unit target ability, basically like Doom's sword, how he's able to activate it, and he's able to swing with it. What it does is Lich King enchants his sword with the Frostfire from his lands, temporarily stealing movement speed and attack speed upon attacks on enemy heroes. Each attack on a hero refreshes the duration. So this means that each time he attacks someone, they're going to get slower and attack slower. But all that stealing goes to Lich King. So meaning he can kind of cripple somebody if he wants to. But there is a maximum, don't worry. Next we move on to Undead Armor. Lich King's armor is sustained through his undead servants, reducing damage taken from all sources, including pure damage, and reduced damage farther by recreation. So undead armor is just a straight up reducing damage ability. Level it up and he takes less damage, simple as that. And it even reduces pure damage. Now it did say he does get it farther reduced by recreation. Recreation is his next ability. Recreation, by the way, Undead Armor was a passive, because I didn't put it in there for some reason. Recreation is a passive unit target ability. Lich King recreates whoever he kills into his own followers, giving himself stacks which give him damage reduction. This skill can be activated, consuming all stacks to summon undead soldiers on target enemy, whose damage scales with Lich King while slowing the enemy. Upon death, 1/3 of stacks are lost. So that's a little bit complicated, let me tell you how it works. Lich King gains stacks for killing, assisting, or killing a creep. And these stacks give him damage reduction. Now, whenever he activates the ability on a target hero, what that will do is that will allow him to slow the hero and summon skeletons that scale with his own damage. Now, of course, it's not 100% damage, but they do scale with him nonetheless. And whenever that happens, these skeletons will hit him when he's slowed, and you lose all your stacks when doing it, so you have to be wise when using it. And 1/3 of stacks are lost on death, that's just a thing. Frozen Waste is a new ability. This is his ultimate ability. It is a no-target AoE ability. After a short delay, Lich King stabs his sword into the ground, causing ice to spread across the ground around him, stunning all enemies in the area. This also consumes all his recreation stacks and summons skeletons to all stun units in the area, based on the current number of stacks. The number of skeletons is spread out to all units in the area, prioritizing heroes. So what this means is that it's a giant Tidehunter ult. Think about it that way. Think about it that way, and what happens is it consumes all his recreation stacks and summons skeletons to everyone in the area. Now what this means is that you have to have recreation stacks when doing this, and it's not like recreation where you can target who you're doing. They're stunned instead of slowed, but it happens to everyone. That means only 1 or 2 skeletons are going to get summoned, depending on how you activate it, because creeps do take away from your max skeletons. Now we move on to his talent tree over here. Now again, ignore all the stats over here, because I don't know really much about stats. All I knew is just to make him a strength hero. So, talent tree. His level 10 stat, his level 10 talent is plus 20 damage or 2 health regen. His level 15 talent is plus 6 armor or plus 10 magic resist. His level 20 talent is 10% extra Frost Fire Steel max, so he's able to steal 10% more. And I'll recap this when I go over the specifics of the abilities. Or plus 300 health. His 25 damage talent is 100% skeleton damage scale, meaning they hit just as hard as you. Or plus 30 maximum stacks to recreation. Now, again, I'll go over these talents later on. I want to go over the bio. If you guys want to skip the bio, go ahead. But I'm going to go into the bio right now. Lich King used to be king of all at one point, when everything was ice, and was alive. By force and with help from a water priestess, he conquered the land. The king ruled a vast kingdom with plenty of servants who followed his cause, or died. One day, Lich King found out his servants were planning to kill him, as they thought he was unjust. Not entirely wrong. Lich King, ready to state his power, began executing anyone related to the insurgents, innocent or not. This called the rebel group to run away and gather arms to fight the king. The day came when there were thousands at the king's door, and when he gave the order to attack, his army stood down and joined the insurgents. Furious, the king only had a handful of faithful servants by his side. But knowing what was out there, they still followed him and said, "You are my king." He was grateful to have them by his side. They rushed into battle, managing their own, but slowly, one by one, he lost servants to the battle, until it was just him. The leader of the insurgents didn't fight at all, but came to deal the last blow to the king, and just like his rule, he fell. However, when the king's body fell, he spoke a word, Evergale. And with a blast of light from the sky, Lich King arose. His movement speed steal per hit is 247 and 10%. Over here, you can see the max movement speed steal he can get is 50% at max and scaling with each one. That's made to where you reach your max once you hit 5 hits. Once you hit the hero 5 times, you've stolen your max and you can't do anything else. And the sucky thing is this goes to all heroes, meaning if you hit each hero once, you've already reached your max. So be sure to prioritize one hero. The same goes for his attack speed. 5 per hit, maximum is percent is 5. I think it's actually a really balanced thing because, if you spread it across multiple heroes, well, then it isn't doing much. Now, if we head over to spell immunity, it does not pierce spell immunity for those of you knowing, but it does last 10 seconds, which is very long. Now, of course, it does say that hitting an enemy hero will refresh the cooldown, meaning once you hit your max, you're still able to keep it as long as you keep hitting heroes. Now that's all for this ability. Now let's move on to Undead Armor. Lich King's armor, is all that stuff reducing damage. It's 5, 7, 10. At max level, you can reduce 15% of damage coming at you. Pure damage included, remember this. Now it's a very simple ability. Heading over to Recreation, you can tell its cost is 100 cost. Mana cost 100. And its cooldown is 65, so it's actually pretty large for a non-ultimate ability. Now again, this is the one that gives him stacks and allows him to target enemies. So as you can see right here, creep stacks gain per kill, 1. Stacks gain per assist, 3. Stacks gain per kill, 6. Now, the max stacks below is, as you can see, 12, 24, 36, and 48 stacks maximum. Now, as you can see here, additional damage reduction per stacks. Ignore that 10 part. I didn't think that was in there, to be honest. It's additional damage per stack. So what happens is each stack he has, he gains 0.5 damage reduction. Now his maximum is 48, making the maximum amount of damage reduction he can get is 24%, sorry. Adding that to his current damage reduction on Lich King's Undead Armor, that's 28 plus 15, 30, 43, if I'm not mistaken. 43% damage reduction. Now, again, I may kind of mess with it. I may make it to where For every 2 stacks, he gains 0.5 damage reduction, and that would lower it even farther, which is probably the better idea. Now the enemy slow, remember, because you can activate this ability on an enemy hero, consuming every stack you have, and slowing them for a duration while the skeletons are getting summoned. So as you can see, the enemy slow percentage is 10, 30, 50, then 70%. So it is pretty hefty at max level, and you may just end up activating this just for the slow, even though you have no stacks. So, pierces spell immunity, it does not. Skeleton scale damage, they hurt for 15, 30, 45, then 60% of Lich King's damage. But their movement speed is 100% with Lich King. The skeleton duration lasts 15 seconds, and the skeleton health is 75, 100, 150, 200, so not too bad. The enemy's slow duration is 3 seconds, so they're not slowed for too long, but at the same time, it's a long time when you're the one being targeted. Move on to Frozen Wastes. We move on to Frozen Wastes. Frozen Wastes, again, is his ultimate ability, which is a giant stun, which summons skeletons based on his current number of stacks. So if we head over, mana cost right here is 150, 150, then 200. I don't know why that 200's there. It must have copied itself. But either way, its cooldown is 100 seconds, so a pretty long cooldown. Actually, it's not that long, mainly because it's dependent on recreation. Frozen Wastes, so you remember, its area of effect is 1,000, so that is a large area. Max skeletons per hero is 10, meaning when you activate this ability, you will be summoning only 10 skeletons per hero. Even if you have 50 stacks, you can only summon 10 per hero. And the max skeletons per creep is 2. Pierces spell immunity, it does not. Stun duration, though, is 1, 2, and 3 seconds, so that's actually pretty cool. Something you should know, I didn't know that it didn't show up. It looked like it was in the little bio here, but it's not. So as you can see, for every 3 stacks consumed, 1 skeleton is summoned when you activate Recreation. That's what it is. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know how I didn't see this before, but the little add-on area kind of merged itself with the description. So what happens is right here, for every 3 stacks consumed, 1 skeleton is summoned. When channeling, if interrupted, all stacks are lost anyway. Meaning that you actually might want to be careful because Recreation is actually a channel ability. I don't know why it's not working, so just know that Recreation is a channelable ability, just know that. And if it is stopped, your things are stopped as well, and you lose all stacks, so it kind of sucks. But hey, you activated the ability, you knew the risks. And right here, if there are any extra stacks after the skeletons have reached their max, all additional stacks are lost. And for the Frozen Wastes, for every stack consumed, 1 skeleton is summoned. So that's what you should know, and there wasn't any extra thing here, it's just for these last 2. So know that when you activate Recreation by itself, it's 3 stacks, 1 skeleton. When it's Frozen Wastes, 1 stack, 1 skeleton. Now, of course, max skeletons per hero 10, max per creep 2, so be careful how it's distributed. Now, if we get here, stun duration and all that stuff, you already know how this all works. But if we head back to the talent tree, it is 20 damage, health regen, armor, magic resist. Now, 20 is whenever you start, after knowing all the specifics of his abilities, where it starts getting good. Look, 10% extra Frostfire, Steel Max. Now, if we head back up to Frostfire, extending his max would make it to 60, meaning he's able to steal an extra hit from another person. Now, that's actually pretty good. Or 300 health. For 25, he can choose 100% damage scale. Now imagine that. 10 skeletons all hitting the same amount for Lich King. That has to hurt. And at max level 25, you can also get plus 30 maximum stacks to Recreation. That will extend your maximum stacks to 78. And 78 cut in half is like 40 something extra damage reduction as well. Now that is amazing if you think about it. Alright, but that should be all. I'll have a link down in the description to this page where you can see the credit to all these artists that I featured. And that actually should be all. So, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like it, share it, and subscribe. And if my mic is actually kind of messing up, go ahead and say so down below, because I don't know what's better or not. I don't know if you guys want to hear me with a slight echo and a slight raspiness to this, or if you want to hear the constant ringing in the back. It's up to you. I wish I could choose better, but I can't. Either way, I hope this thing can make it to dotacinima. This is Lich King. And of course I'll tweak a few things as time goes on because some of these things weren't finished. But like I said, that should be all. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like it, share it, and subscribe. And I'll be sure to see you in the next video. Bye.